Recently, the cream of South African board sailing converged on the border city of East London for the first ever Open Board Sailing Championships. Just over 100 competitors, including 11 females from throughout the country, brought with them trailers laden with customized high-tech equipment. The relatively new sport of board sailing in South Africa has reached all corners of the country, with each province having their own top contenders. From Natal, 20-year-old Guy Schroeder. From Western Province, the 16-year-old Cameron Bruce. Transvaal's Edwin de Kock, 17. Representing Southwest Africa, Stephen Lowe, 16. Clinton Johns from the Orange Free State. And for local supporters, all eyes were on Border's own John Pollock. And to tell us more about the Great Western Cooler Challenge, coordinator Rob Pickstock.
This is the first ever South African Open Board Sailing Championships. We've never had an event like this in the past. In the past, we've only had specific events like, for example, a wave performance event or a slalom event or a course racing event. And they've always been on a more professional tone where we've had a lot of prize money. This is specifically catering for the amateur side of the sport, where we have all three disciplines together. And there's just titles at stake. The disciplines involved are course racing, slalom and wave performance. And the course racing is, of course, that happens fairly far out at sea, where they sail around a laid-out course.
And this course was designed to test the skill of the sailor with the equipment of his choice as he challenged the demands of upwind, downwind and reaching legs. Course racing specialist Marlon Weibel made the most of conditions to lead the competitive field. Each competitor tried to elicit assistance from mutual allies, wind and waves.
When you've fallen awake and you take stock of the new day, and you hear your voice croak as you choke on what you need to say. Well, don't you fret, don't you fear, I will give you good cheer. Life's a long song, life's a long song.
Toby Norman and compatriot from the Western Province, Howie Fuljoen. Natal's Henk Leenstra. Guy Schroeder, tacking around the windward mark, lost a place to Dave Herridge, reaching for home. Edwin de Kock chasing Cameron Bruce. Lady competitor Anne Gadd. From the Transvaal, Garth Calder. Borders Johan Ackerman enjoying home water advantage and sailing along with meaning.
That's a long song.
Marlene Hoekstra maintained a strong challenge in the ladies section,
That's a long song.
as did Cape Townian Marianne de Jager.
But the tune ends too soon for us all.
Consistency, skill and experience paved the way for the 19-year-old Springbok Marlon Weibel, who outsailed the fleet to win 3 out of 5 races and claim the 1986 men's course racing title. Second place went to Cameron Bruce, third to Guy Schroeder, and fourth to Jonathan Parman. And in the ladies' competition, Western Province's Marianne de Jager overcame the border conditions to prove her superiority in course racing by clinching first place. Second was Anne Gadd, and third Marlene Hoekstra. The next few days were spent less competitively, while the more than 100 participants waited for the wind to get up and took the opportunity to indulge in frivolous pursuits. All this spare time allowed people's minds to wander to other things like, where did board sailing originate?
You know, a lot of people stop me in the street, which in itself is encouraging. Martin, they say, what do you know about board sailing? The answer is quite a lot, really. You're probably not aware of this, but board sailing started in Ireland in 1620 during the potato famine, when people wanted to go to America and there weren't enough ships. So what they did was they broke up the ships and they made board sails out of them.
Things have progressed, however, since those humble beginnings. With the seedings made known, attention once again reverted to the competition. Taking part in the 1986 Nationals, we found surfing legend Jonathan Parman.
It's great fun. You get unreal rides on the way out, jumping, rides on the way in. It complements surfing. I still surf a lot. Don't doubt that. I still go out in the mornings and the evenings after work. And when the wind blows, I go sailing. So no wind, go surfing, plenty wind, go sailing.
And with the promise of plenty wind, the competition moved just north of East London to Bonza Bay. Sails were tuned to perfection. The next discipline was wave performance, and it was evident from the beginning that these were going to be interesting heats.
I think if the winds are reasonable and pretty strong, I have a good chance of taking it overall. But there's so many people in the competition, you know, I can't say now at this stage what's going to happen.
Your biggest competition?
Guy Schroeder.
Well, wave sailing is definitely my best discipline, but slalom's sort of really a close second, and then course racing.
I don't think I'll do that well, but I think we gain a lot of experience and everything from these events.
Het is nie gewoond daaraan nie, maar ek dink in course racing het ek 'n kans, maar die branders, wave contest en so is baie moeilik. Ek weet nie, slalom sal ek my bes doen, ek weet nie. Sal sien wat gebeur.
The format for the 1986 wave performance discipline was for sailors to compete man-on-man in an effort to outscore each other in jumping, jibing and pulling off radical maneuvers on a wave. David Crate moved out to select better waves, but Danny Schreiber from Cape Town popped up with this jump. Natal's Guy Schroeder headed out and collected lots of points with this jump jibe. Danny Schreiber again. And Cameron Bruce set himself up for a jump. Gary van Rooyen from Western Province. From Eastern Province, Grant Hardman. Ivan van Vuren jibing and setting himself up for more points. Guy Schroeder made it look so easy. Then it was over to the ladies to test their skills against the elements, but Marianne de Jager couldn't wait to hop into the water. Board sailing is relatively new in South Africa. Is a national competition a good idea? Board sailor and media correspondent Anne Gadd.
I think it's the only chance we South Africans have of getting together and doing a competition, all of us together without internationals, so that we can prove really who is the best in South Africa. I mean, one only has to look at the sales of boards to realize that the sport is no longer mere passing fad. I think it's definitely taking off incredibly well. I just wish that I could encourage more women into the competitive side of the board sailing. A lot of women out there sailing, but when it comes to competing, they seem to be fairly reticent to do so.
But during the competition, it was apparent that the ladies would be a force to contend with in the future. No wind was too strong and no wave too big. The wave performance for the ladies was won by Marlene Hoekstra with Anne Gadd second, closely followed by Marianne de Jager and Lindy Dewhurst. Into the men's final went Ivan van Vuren from Natal against Grant Hardman from Eastern Province. Hardman made use of his opportunities. Van Vuren riding superbly. Grant Hardman reaching for the sky and perhaps victory. But with this jump, Ivan placed himself ahead of Grant, taking the wave performance title. Guy Schroeder from Natal was third and Gary van Rooyen fourth. Boarders Bonza Bay Beach bathed in a setting sun, prepared for the third and final discipline. Once again, the equipment had to be carefully chosen because slalom is out-and-out racing. Sailors leave the beach, sail 3 laps of a figure-8 course set in the breakers, and finish the race by rounding a finish mark just off the beach. The top 4 finishers in each heat progress until only 8 remain for the final. Slalom racing demands that the board be kept planing on the water's surface. Jumps cost valuable seconds. After a tense final, Cape Town's Cameron Bruce jumped for joy as he crossed the line, winning the slalom event from Eastern Province's Murray Spears. John Pollock took 3rd and Peter Slate 4th place. As the Great Western Cooler Challenge drew to a close, only 1 title remained, and 16-year-old Springbok Cameron Bruce was declared BASA 1986 overall men's champion.